r/AskReddit. Anyone who won a lifetime supply of something, what did you win? And are they still supplying it to you? I won a lifetime supply of coffee beans in a contest. Each month they mail 4 pounds of excellent quality coffee beans of my choice. Sometimes I give them away as gifts as I can't use them all. When I was a kid, Crayola was running a Create a New Color contest. If you won, your color went in one of their big boxes of crayons and you got a lifetime supply of crayons when they retire colors and make new ones. I made swamp green and won. They send me a new big box of crayons 1-2 times a year and have been doing it for 20 plus years. Whoa, never thought I'd meet the creator of swamp green. It's an honor. Now if only we can meet the creator of the macaroni and cheese crayon. I have a lot of words to share. 6-year-old me has a particular bone to pick with whoever made candy apple red. Back in the 60s, my grandmother, who was rich then, had purchased a health insurance policy with no deductible or co-pay for $116 mo. The premium was lifetime and would never go up, and it was absolutely carte blanche. Pay for nothing. Ever. Over the years, that insurance company would be bought and sold, and there was always some scam they would try to get her to upgrade or change policies. Some would even try to bully her. She had a lawyer, whom she outlived, that said, no matter what, don't do anything. Any company that buys them out has to honor your policy. It is lifetime. Just don't miss a payment. She outlived a number of insurance companies, and her money. She lived until age 90 and had excellent health insurance until the day she died of old age. Update edit. Word. She said her friends said she was crazy all those years ago when she bought it. Her husband had just died and left her a couple of warehouses in the Minneapolis area. She said she didn't want to worry about health insurance, so she bought it. She told me this story about 10 years before she died when she asked me for help with fixing the transmission of her 1983 Cadillac. She was about broke then, but kept up appearances as much as a healthy 80-year-old can. I do remember when I was young, that she always had great parties at her lake home. She said she blew her money the right way, and in good fun, just didn't expect to live so long. No kidding. Health insurance worked a bit too well, I guess. About 4 years ago I won a cinema premiere card, which entitled me to 2 free movies a week for the duration of a year. The cinema chain dragged their feet when it came to delivering the prize, but I persisted and eventually received the card a few months later. Turns out the card has lasted for longer than a year, still currently in use and set to expire in 2116. When I was a kid, the Australian brand Arnott's was running a competition where if you bought their Shapes biscuits you could win all sorts of prizes. After begging my mum for Shapes every time she went to the supermarket, I finally won a prize, which was a lifetime supply of Shapes. Little me was over the moon. But when my mum took my winning card to be redeemed, the supermarket said they would have to contact the Arnott's company. Well, after waiting months, we finally hear back from Arnott's via a letter saying that they apologize but they cannot honor the competition, but instead have sent a $3 check reimbursing my mum for the packet of Shapes. So yeah, duck you Arnott's. Colleague of mine won a year's supply of beer from a craft brewery in an office raffle. They sent her 1 bottle of beer a month, 12 beers total. Not a lifetime, but I won a year's supply of vitamin water. I was kinda freaking out because it was supposed to be a couple pallets worth of water and I live in a very tiny apartment and also do not like vitamin water. When it finally got time for them to ship it out, they decided to just give me a $900 Visa gift card. Was pumped about that. My sister won a lifetime supply of sour warhead candies, but they stopped sending them after a few years too. I think it was a blessing that they stopped actually. My friend won a lifetime supply of Pringles. She got something like 300 cans of Pringles and they were gone in a few months, but she lives on. In primary school my school was giving away a lifetime supply of Oreos and I won, but they stopped as soon as I left the school. Have you contacted a lawyer? Gonna sue the school now, be right back. Lifetime supply of Red Dots. I legit ducking hate Red Dots and they just sent me another supply this last weekend. I hate Red Hots. About 15 years ago Lego did a thing where there were gold tabs on the corners of instruction manuals. If you collected enough and mailed them in you'd get a lifetime subscription to the magazine. My brother and I spent all our allowance on sets during that time and got enough to send in. We got the magazine for probably about 5 years after that. We even moved and got the address changed a few times. They stopped after a while though and would restart for a few months after we called, but eventually we never heard back. My grandparents bought my dad a lifetime subscription to National Geographic as a kid. We have mountains of those yellow pages. When he had no fixed address they would save all the issues and then ship out a bundle when they found him again. National Geographic. Lego. The Lego magazine was free to subscribe to for as long as I remember. Even now it's still free. I won a year's supply of Oreo. Their competition flopped a bit and only a few people entered. They held up their end of the deal awesomely by supplying me with more than 365 packages of Oreos. One shipment every 3 months. The total amount of cookies was over 5,000. The downside is that I'm never eating a single Oreo cookie again. But I'll always love the company. I won a lifetime supply of camera film from the Publishers Clearinghouse. I had to send it in to them to get developed and they would send me back a new roll with my pictures. Their prices for development was actually really good, so I did for a good decade or so until digital cameras took over. So you're the guy who decimated the film camera industry. When we moved into our current house, every year around Christmas we'd get this massive box full of assorted Keebler crackers, always addressed to the previous owner. This went on for about 10 years before they finally stopped coming. To this day, we have no idea what kind of deal the previous owner had with Keebler, but lem tell you we always looked forward to that cracker box every year. Edit 2. I was a kid when all this happened. I had no idea this was technically illegal, and to be perfectly honest, I don't think my parents did either. They are pretty straight-laced folk. We didn't have any contact information for the previous owners. We just knew they moved to somewhere in Florida. I think it was this kid. My cousin won a lifetime supply of Keebler cookies and a Keebler inflatable raft. The irony that he wasn't allowed sweets was not lost on 6YO me. I was a fat kid and dripping with jealousy. Our local Krispy Kreme burned down one day, and about a year later it reopened. The first 100 people in the door were given free donuts for a year and number 1 got them for life. A friend and I camped out overnight with over 100 other people. The first guy in line was there for an entire week. We ended up getting our year of donuts, and it was a punch card which let us each come back once a month for a free dozen donuts. My great-grandfather was a farmer and won a contest for plowing the straightest row in the county fair. This was about 1910 in Saskatchewan, Canada. He won a lifetime supply of seed. Each weekend he would go pick up about 20 plus bags of seed and, with his horse and buggy, take them to the train station where new families were exiting the train. In 1910, Saskatchewan was giving away land to new immigrants, and for years and years he would give each family bags of seed to start their new farm. I won a month of free bagels from Panera, limit 1 per day. Jokes on them. I was taking paternity leave at the time. I went there every single day that month. What a month. I am not sure if this counts, but a family friend did the original art for Ben & Jerry's ice cream. At the time they didn't have money to pay her, so they said if the business was successful she could have free Ben & Jerry's for life. She can walk into any Ben & Jerry's, show them her card and walk out with as much ice cream as she wants. We also invite her to parties, but we also always joke she should have just asked for stock options. I got a year of free wings from Buffalo Wild Wings when I was in junior high for camping out overnight and being one of the first through the doors 52 coupons for 6 traditional wings. It was great. Me and my buddies would go all the time and get free wings. We tried all the flavors. It was a good year. Edit. In honor of this doubling my karma, I went and got some B-dubs for dinner and ate until I was uncomfortably full. Thank you all. Not a lifetime supply, but when I was 12 I won a free year of video game rentals from Blockbuster. The only catch was I could only have one game out at a time. Infinite number of rentals for a whole year. As a 12-year-old this was a dream come true. Shout out to my older brother who couldn't care less about video games but would chauffeur me to Blockbuster multiple times a week to get a new game. Man, that was a good year. It's not quite the same, but I have a lifetime membership to my gym. I pay maybe a few dollars a year for some taxes and that's it. I have to pay those few dollars to keep it alive, but even if I go once a year it's worth it, and I go probably 3-4 times a month. I've had this for about 18 years now. My mother used to do sweepstakes. She also used my name and address for them too. Well, I won a year supply of Purina dog food. They sent 52 coupons for up to £25 bags. My dog at the time, Doobie, was a squat 35 pounds Beagle Yellow Lab mix and he was just fine with the small bags per week. So, we donated the vast majority of them to a local animal shelter. Ugh. I won a lifetime supply of hot dogs at a hot dog festival once. It came with a nice grill, except when I went to pick up my hot dogs, the company gave them to me all at once. I was 30 at the time, and their figures all worked off an 80-year lifespan. 3 hot dogs a day for 50 years works out to be 54,750 hot dogs. That's 5,475 packs of 10, 228 cases of 24 packs. 23 boxes with 10 cases each. I had to buy an extra freezer just to hold them. I gave away what I could not store. Churches, homeless shelters, food banks. We ate them for years.